But as we come down to it, one more matchup left. Eager versus LG. This one is spicy. This one's for all the marbles.
Absolutely. This is very important because, like we mentioned before, with E-United splitting this set, this puts them at 12. Tied, Luminosity and E-United are at 12 points. So if Luminosity don't find a win here, they're going to have to go through a tiebreaker. Eager, they're already guaranteed in first or second seed. They're just battling for positioning now over Luminosity.
And LG not finding a win here, despite Luminosity being one of the best teams in the world, I think you can safely say, Eager has proven to be just as strong. It is not far-fetched to really think that Eager does wind up with the 2-0 here. Toli, how you feeling? I'm going to give you 2 buttons.
Oh, okay.
Toli, how you feeling? Is it Eager, is it LG, or is it a split?
I'd rather flip a coin, so I got to give it a split.
So why do you think, so these two teams are very
They're just historically been battling it back and forth constantly ever since Season 3 as well. Online phase, Luminosity has gotten the better end of Eager in the previous season, but this season it's looking a little stronger for Eager. I would say I would give Eager like a 51% versus Luminosity 49.
51-49. Toli still won't make a damn decision. We've got our friends Hinduman and Aggro on the call. Bring us the final game of the spring split.
I mean, 51% is more than 49, so...
Sure, but it's not. He's not like going out on a limb. I think that's where Efrat's a little bit upset. He's not saying 100% this is going to happen. It's like I might be right, I might be wrong, but you'll never get to call me out on it.
Now go back to World Championships. These are the best 2 teams North America had to offer. They
Yes.
both made the semifinals. They both walked into European powerhouses. They didn't meet at World Championships, LG and Eager.
Nope.
Today they will, and there's a lot on the line. LG need to find at least 1 win here.
And between
minimum.
10 players, and between these 10 players, only 1 roster change from those Worlds rosters of last year. So this is a matchup that we really wanted to see last year at Worlds, didn't get a chance to, but this is the next best thing.
Well, we're going to see Krakens in mid lane for Baskin here. Skadi and Nike from Eager. Nike we've seen quite a few times over in the solo lane for Divios. That's not going to be a surprise there.
Nope.
JeffHindla going for a comfort Bacchus pick here. He basically resembles the god with that beautiful mane of a beard that he's got there.
Yeah, very, very. I mean, JeffHindla is more attractive than Bacchus. JeffHindla is like
sure.
the most beautiful man I've ever laid eyes on. But
I
either
agree.
way, this Medusa pick, I love these picks so far for Luminosity and for Eager. These are comfort picks across the board for both sides. We've seen Baskin on Poseidon more so than any other mid, I'm pretty comfortable in saying. And that Medusa has been really piloted beautifully by BaRRaCCuDDa so far in this season.
Medusa over 100 kills so far this split. She is the most killing hunter in the SPL
No
right
surprise.
now. Hunbat's the most winning god in the game, most picked as well in the SPL as well, but it's not enough. He's going to get banned out, as is Chunga, so no sneaky ideas from DJ in the jungle this game.
Yeah, LG definitely doing their homework in terms of not only what Eager likes to do, but what all of the SPL is really liking to do that right now. That Chunga flex pick, a little bit too much to handle.
Nemesis for Mask here, more than likely, in the jungle position. Not seeing much Nemesis just lately.
No, not at all, but it does synergize very, very well with the Bacchus. That was a very popular Season 3 combination, was the Bacchus Nemesis, usually paired with the Raijin. A lot less Raijin these days, but Poseidon has stepped up where Raijin fell off. So it could be a good combination, that 3v3.
Surprising to see the Geb locked in against the Nemesis. Nemesis is very, very good against some of these tankier, immobile support players.
In one way, yes, but Geb fills a couple different roles in this roster for Eager. It's excellent setup for Best in the mid lane on the Ra, and whenever someone gets Nem ulted that isn't Geb, he can immediately cleanse that slow with the Geb shield and give them that big boost of HP that they just lost that was stripped away by Nemesis.
I don't feel either team really has an advantage at the start here. There's neither team that I'm looking at like they definitely won the draft.
No, I mean, the Nemesis pick is a little bit curious to me because in my mind, Mask does best whenever he's able to be the initiator. The LG really likes to rely on him to be the initiator on gods like, not so much Thor, but this Ratatoskr that DJ has. Mask is excellent on that, and you can't really dictate that kind of pace.
Divios is in a bit of trouble here. The Whirlpool's going to slow him down. The slow applied then as well by Mask. First blood could be very quick. Divios forced to take the leap at level 1. It's not going to hurt him too much, but it will hurt his wave clear a little bit here.
It will, because sometimes you'll see Nikes get a little bit greedy. At level 2, you can level up Plan of Action, and then you can put a second point into Rend at level 3. Now, Divios isn't going to be able to get 2 points into Rend until level 4.
Well, we'll see what he ends up doing with his build then as the time goes on. More than likely, he'll still go Rend, and he'll have to get his 2 as well, just for the extra ability of the range of the Rend as time goes on. Dual lane Eager will start with a Raw staying in the duo lane, which is surprising. That's not something we see out of a Raw too often.
And JeffHindla starting on this side of the map, which we also also don't see that often for Luminosity. Usually BaRRaCCuDDa's left alone to get those little guys on the buff camps by himself, whereas Jeff is usually in the solo lane or in the mid lane. This is the first time we've seen a true duo lane for either of these teams in quite a while.
Zap taking a couple of in-hands there from BaRRaCCuDDa, thanks to the support of Jeff. Cold doing some good work with Aror though to clear out the minion wave, but the trade definitely going in Barra's favor. And there's a nice flop as well from Jeff. The meditation force from Aror early on. And in response, happy days for LG early on.
Yeah, the LG definitely getting the better of this lane so far. BaRRaCCuDDa's going to have to get meditated by JeffHindla there, though, so basically all even. You see Zap and BaRRaCCuDDa still have one health pot left, so they're not too worried about any sort of poke.
One mid lane, though, there was a 2v1 in favor of LG, and on the right-hand side, it was a 2v1 in favor of Eager, which means the red buff is stolen by LG and Eager's side. The purple now being looked at by the dual lane of LG. On the right-hand side of the map, you can see djpernicus and Divios have stolen the blue and are now looking at the speed.
But this overall favors Luminosity because of that dual lane pressure that they're getting, and the mid laner is also getting ahead in Baskin. It's only Skadi who's falling a little bit behind right now for Luminosity, and that's okay. He's the solo laner. He's going to get plenty of farm later on.
Aror flopped on in place as well. Best pushed out in the mid lane, but Aror may be first blood, and he will be. Jeff the JeffHindla coming up big with the meat stick coming into play to secure the first kill of the game, and it's LG on the forefront right now.
This is an exciting time for Luminosity, especially if you're an LG fan, because previously in Season 3, in the beginning stages of Season 4, we didn't get to see this Sex Tank lane really go together very often. Jeff was always elsewhere on the map, making sure everything was going smoothly. I think now that we're into the spring split, it is matchup dependent, yes, but you can see that Mask and Baskin are more comfortable with each other in that mid lane. They're comfortable leaving Skadi alone, and that allows LG to get this pressure in this duo lane that they're so famous for.
Not just that, but Pernicus has been looking to steal away the purple buff on the left-hand side as well, and potentially wrap around the back as well. Won't be able to find any pick this time round. We'll soak a wave on this left-hand side for now. They're leaving Best alone a long time here, though, Eager aggro.
Yeah, but he's not yet level 5 quite yet. Even with Baskin having to share the majority of his farm with Mask, because of the sheer number of buff camps they've been able to secure and how quickly they've been able to get them, it's Baskin hitting that ultimate first.
And this was the story of Eager, happy to invest into the right-hand side of the map versus LG, wanting to invest more into the left-hand side of the map at the beginning of this game.
Either way, I mean, Team Eager's also completely comfortable letting Best get a little bit behind, or Divios, whoever. Both of these teams are at top of North America for a reason. I think these are by far the best two teams in North America right now.
djpernicus spending more time in the enemy jungle than his own right now. Going to steal away the back harpies on this right-hand side as well. They are worth a relatively decent amount now as well.
They absolutely are, and with this Nemesis pick for Mask, that it allows DJ to really focus on this counter jungling, because he's not really worried about Mask going into his jungle. That early Nemesis clear, not really strong enough to comfortably invade without by yourself at least.
Well, we talked about TheBest being a little bit behind in the mid lane, still a level down, but as is Aror at the moment. He's only level 4. Scratch that, Jeff still sat at level 4 too. Thought Jeff might have been a bit further along, and he actually is now. He just dings 5 there, although Aror's doing back harpies.
And not only that, but Jeff has already finished off those Traveler shoes, so he's going to be starting to gain a little bit more gold than that of Aror.
Speed buff looking to be invaded by LG. Mask and Baskin turn up in tow, looking for some pressure here if they can find it. The Whirlpool down, Divios forced to ult early on. They're worried about the Kraken coming out. Mask strips away the speed though, and Luminosity get what they came for.
That's a good win there for Luminosity, not only because they get the speed, but that ultimate out of Divios as well. I was on Divios' thought process. I thought
Kraken's
that,
coming.
Yeah, Kraken's coming to secure this speed buff, and that would have been worth it, but it's even better that Baskin didn't have to use it.
Well, Best is looking to defend his red buff, but there's already 4 members of LG waiting for it. They will strip that too. BaRRaCCuDDa given that. And on the left-hand side, Zapman was busy clearing the camps and forced to ward. Very, very unorthodoxly positioned there.
A little bit of a different style coming out of both hunters here. You see Zap, he's rushing that Transcendence, not valuing the early rotation potential of the Skadi, really wanting to just get his outright power up and ready to go. BaRRaCCuDDa, he's going to finish those boots before the Transcendence and try and make those rotations a little bit more fruitful.
Skadi a little bit far forward. He's forced to ult and maybe have to turn this around. Divios with a very good leap at the end there to avoid the stun that most certainly would have connected, and with LG rotating in, that could have spelled more of a bad situation. But talk about bad situations, that's where DJ is right now.
That's the exact combination that Luminosity drafted for. The Nemesis ult after the Bacchus flop directly into the Kraken. The Aegis not enough to save the life of djpernicus. Second kill on the board for LG.
And not just that, they stripped the blue buff from Eager's jungle as Well, left-hand side, you can see, though, that Eager are trying to answer back with a red buff steal of their own. Best will be able to pick this one up, unless they look to give it towards Zapman. It will go to the Best.
It's a little surprised that doesn't go to Zap, just because BaRRaCCuDDa has a red buff, and usually when one hunter gets the one red, the other wants that other red buff to make sure that you can actually try and box. But Zap clearly does not want to try and box up against BaRRaCCuDDa. He's so far behind in terms of mobility and even power right now. Not finishing off that Transcendence quite yet means that Bear is probably going to get the better of him either way. I like this decision from Zap to give up that red buff to the Best because he knows he doesn't want to fight even with the buff.
Oracles have spawned. Mask is the only one really here from LG to look towards them. Eager will take them before LG can respond. The good news, though, for Zapman is that he is going for the Transcendence first, which means his power spike boost will come online before BaRRa's here and swing the tail of the tape in this duel lane.
So, but with both hunters presumably going for the Transcendence, Zap does have a little bit of a disadvantage right now, but you're right. As soon as he finishes off his boots, he will automatically be ahead of BaRRaCCuDDa as long as they're both at the same spot, because Zap will have already gotten so many stacks by finishing off the stacking item first than BaRRa. But if BaRRa can use these early boots to rotate around the map, make something happen in mid lane, or maybe around the Gold Fury, help with the invades that Luminosity's been doing on this left-hand side, then even though Zap will have the more stacks, BaRRa might be ahead in a tier 1 or maybe even tier 2 of his next item.
4 members of LG on the left-hand side of the map now. You just saw Baskin and Mask rotate towards the Gold Fury for a second. Instead, they're going to go straight back towards the speed buff, knowing that Eager went for the back hoppies themselves. That speed is due up soon. LG have the timer on it as well.
And Aror's on this left-hand side trying to make sure Zap is safe up against BaRRaCCuDDa, so this is going to be numbers advantage in favor of Luminosity. DJ's there right on time, but so is Scary D. And DJ knows that he's got no recourse if he gets flopped this time. Aegis still down for 30 seconds.
Yeah, Scary D just pushing Divios under the tower early on, having a good time of things over in this solo lane now. The pressure really onto him didn't really come to much. He was 2v1 at the start of the game, but he's handled the situation well as an Amaterasu.
Both of these teams, we were talking about it earlier on with Allegiance in particular. Some teams struggle when they are not the ones to be aggressive, but both of these teams are okay being on the back foot and waiting for the counter engage.
Well, Jeff was a bit of an awkward position there. The Cataclysm used, though, by Aror onto BaRRaCCuDDa, and with DJ in the air, he could look to come down. The snipe from Best was early and only hit onto Jeff, I believe. However, now the rotation from the solo laners starts to come into play, and immediately both teams back away.
I like this decision for now for Luminosity. A lot of times whenever you see a bunch of ultimates expended there, 3 in fact by Team Eager, and nothing really comes of it, teams will say, okay, we've got an ult advantage, let's push it, let's try and fight this. But they were weaker overall than that of Team Eager. Now it's up to Luminosity to make sure that they fight within the next few minutes so that those ultimates are still on cooldown. If Eager can play passive enough to make sure that Luminosity doesn't force a fight in that time, then those missed ultimates aren't really that big of a deal.
Luminosity are doing a very good job in this mid lane of controlling the entrances to the mid lane on Eager's side of the map. By controlling where Baskin is now on the left-hand side towards the Gold Fury, it's actually stopping Eager from getting some of this farm in the mid lane, slowly but surely whittling down a couple of experience, a couple more gold off the mid lane and jungle composition.
And look at the lead that Baskin has just in terms of items. Best, he went for the Bumba's Mask and hasn't really been able to make a do of that really so far this game. Baskin knew he was going to be sticking around with Mask consistently, so he just goes right for the Dynasty Plate Helm. He's got a significant power advantage over Best right now.
And BaRRaCCuDDa gets given the red buff again. DJ still trying to take the purple, but Eager is dual lane of Aror and Zapman. Not too interested in that. Didn't really like the position. There is a power spike now for Zapman with that Transcendence coming online at 20 stacks, and that's why we may see a fight over those Oracles.
Scary continuing to push down Divios, but the Oracle fight is on. There's the knock up from JeffHindla, and Best uses the Aegis early on. Again, expecting the Kraken, but Baskin just so patient with that ultimate.
Maybe too over-patient there, because I think if he would have thrown the Kraken after that Aegis, he could have potentially found a kill, but would it have really been worthwhile?
Luminosity was still behind in terms of numbers. Yes, they might be able to kill the Best in that scenario, but then Aror can turn around and help out. DJ has his ultimate as well as that Cataclysm from Aror. So I don't mind that decision to hold that Kraken in that scenario. Best is extremely vulnerable for the next 2 minutes plus.
A little bit of a concern for Baskin, though, because we've seen him hold the ultimate a lot of times where we have seen the ultimate drop before. It's not a big issue right now, aggro, but some players do that where they hold their ultimates too long and it can come back to bite them in the back.
It definitely can, but with how many Aegises are up right now for Eager. I'm okay with his passiveness in terms of that Kraken, but you're right. If we don't see Luminosity try and force a fight within the next minute and a half, while Best's Kraken deflector basically in that Aegis is on cooldown, then that is a little bit concerning. But not necessarily on the side of Baskin, but just where LG is trying to force the engagements.
Well, Best is going to have to play very far back now for the next minute and a half at least, until that Aegis is back up again. Otherwise, we will see Jeff looking to combine with the likes of the Poseidon to pick up the kill. Gold Fury started Aror, one of the best dealers in the league right now at stealing Gold Furies, and he's looking for this one. Won't find it though. LG, get it!
Aror very low, but there's the shield to get him healthy. Divios has made the rotation. That Sentinel is great. Divios puts Eager on the board with the first kill, and Baskin, he's going to fall to Zap.
SkariD though looking to clean up Aror on the backside. The sustain coming into play from Best, and Eager looking to potentially pick up some more. Mask looking to support, and right around the back looking for a squishy target. The bad news is all those squishy targets, Aggro, are all healthy.
That's right. Only Aror is low. His meditation is down, but SkariD doesn't have that ultimate. He used that to secure the kill on the DJ. So all in all, 2 for 1 in favor of Team Eager, but LG get the Gold Fury. So it's all basically even.
Basically even for the moment, but look at the pressure Eager has in mid lane for now. SkariD has to stay here and defend it. This is actually allowing pressure onto the speed buff as well. As you can see, LG were looking to defend their own speed. Now the aggression onto Best with SkariD on the forefront. Immediately Divios, recognizing Jeff was lurking, gets away before the flop comes through.
So going back to that Gold Fury, I don't mind that call whatsoever from Luminosity. We have Kraken. That's our best secure. It's better than Snipe at this point in the game. We can definitely secure it, and they do so successfully. So Baskin holding on to that Kraken ends up paying off in some way. But on the other hand, you know DJ is going to commit with the ultimate there. Aror commits his ultimate as well. Part of me wonders if Luminosity pulls off that Gold Fury and takes the engagement instead, they may be able to get more off of it in the end. Either way, they don't end up losing too much in that engagement, so it's basically a wash.
They do lose a little bit off the pressure that BaRRaCCuDDa had in this duo lane, though, because Zapman did take a lead on him in terms of experience now. BaRRa leveled up after Zapman now, as well as Zap having that fully stacked Transcendence. It won't be long for BaRRa to get his online. But getting Zapman a window like that isn't something you necessarily want to do. If you can put someone to bed, do it.
That's true, but I mean, it's so hard to put Zap down completely. The half a level lead that BaRRa had isn't doing that job anyways, so BaRRa's probably willing to trade that slight lead that he had, give Zap one of his own, just to make sure that the rest of his team has enough gold to get their mid to late game power spikes going, because Luminosity's composition in the later stage of the game is favored up against Eager, in my opinion, because of the Nemesis in that jungle is going to be so much more effective in the late game than DJ on the Ratatoskr.
We also talk about power spikes. There's offensive power spikes and defensive ones as well. And those defensive ones is going to be in terms of relics for sure. They're all starting to come into play now. The level 12s are starting to be reached. And we'll see what kind of expectation we're going to have of these two rosters going at it as the game goes on.
Yeah, the other thing to keep in mind, though, on terms of Eager, is while Amaterasu is probably the best late game warrior in the game as far as what her kit provides to the rest of the team, you got to factor in that Nike passive coming out of Divios, giving everyone on Eager extra power and movement speed as the game gets later on. So what DJ may lack in terms of late game potential with the Ratatoskr pick, it does kind of get boosted up by that Nike passive.
Bit of an opportunity for LG to look towards the Portal Demon here. No response from Eager just yet. Divios is the first one on the scene to inspect. Best is here with a snipe as well, looking to steal away. Divios more looking for vision for Best to find the snipe than anything. He will aggro it to force a reset back to the safety. LG give up the goose.
SkariD wasn't there to help out Luminosity, so they don't want to fight. They want to fight in the mid lane though. Best gonna get stunned out. No Kraken. There's the Nemesis ultimate. No Kraken even needed. Baskin picks it up, but that was all about that Nemo.
Not just the Nemo, but the Sunder as well from the Nemesis that was just picked up from the relics. We mentioned defensive relics. Well, there's offensive ones too, Aggro, and there was one of them.
And Best was level 12, but hadn't backed yet to get those purification beads, so that stun was guaranteed coming through.
And here's an engagement around the Portal Demon again. Jeff flops in place, looking to hit Divios. Divios' shield is going to persist a little bit longer now. Portal Demon still healthy enough. BaRRa's now on the scene. In the sky is DJ, and that's going to force a reset.
Everyone spreads out from Luminosity, but I don't think they want to stop fighting here. DJ looks for Baskin on the backside, is able to dart out of danger before he gets crippled by the Whirlpool.
But now he
Portal
can't get
Demon
back in again. The Portal Demon getting very low. The Kraken secures it. Divios and Aror very low. Auror's one hit from death, but the shield's coming in. The rollout's not good enough to save him. Divios leaps to the back to disengage, but he's still being chased down.
So slow is DJ. No Gem of Isolation yet, but so he's able to get out of that Whirlpool. somehow Divios survives, courtesy of the body blocks from DJ. Luminosity only get one with that Fire Demon portal, and it really could have been worse for Eager.
Well, right now, tongue-in-cheek, Zapman was streaming the other day, and he was like, you know what, we're going to 2-0 LG, is going to be easy. I know it's tongue-in-cheek because he knows how difficult this opposition is, but my oh my, Luminosity getting off to a very good start so far with a composition, I want to say, takes longer than their oppositions to get online.
Luminosity just seems to stumble at times against teams that they shouldn't, but when Luminosity is at the top of their game, I'm not sure anyone is ready to play with them, at least in North America, quite yet. Eager's right there with them, and Luminosity, whenever they're off their game, and we've seen them drop games to teams like Noble that they probably shouldn't lose.
Oh, Divios is in trouble, slowed down again by the ult. The big shield coming out from Divios, though, will keep him standing. ScaryD can't find the ult in response. He will disengage from DJ, though, but Divios traded ults. ScaryD
doesn't want to let Divios get this blue buff for free, but with the leap, Divios will be able to get away from that little pit there in the blue buff. So 2 ults for 1 in that scenario, but Mask did not expend that Sunder, which he's already upgraded, by the way. Spend that 500 gold to up the effectiveness of that offensive relic.
ScaryD still hanging around here because Mask was supporting him too with a full minion wave under the tier 1 tower, looking to poke out Eager a little bit as well as continue pressuring this tier 1. The other lanes for LG are doing fine, so they don't have to worry about rotating.
Now Eager has a full set of defensive relics in the jungle, mid, and hunter roles. All 3 have the Aegis and Purification beads ready to go for Baskin on this Kraken. So Baskin, where he probably could have been a little bit looser with the ults earlier on, is going to need to be wary of those relic timers at this point in the game.
ScaryD has been loose with his abilities so far, so he's not scared to go aggressive on the Amaterasu. He did good zone work against Zapman around that portal demon fight a moment ago. JeffHindla's in a bit of an awkward position there. The permafrost causes problems, and now he's rooted in place. No escape from JeffHindla there. Great petrify, though, from BaRRaCCuDDa to help out his support. The support has used Shell, though, so Jeff's just trying to waddle his way back to safety for now. BaRRaCCuDDa, though, invested a nice bit of punishment into Aror.
And maybe Luminosity can turn that around as Baskin hits a DJ with that Kraken, but there's the Aegis coming out from DJ. But that's okay. At this stage in the game, you're totally okay with trading your ult for an Aegis right now. But again, it's about how well can you use that cooldown and try and punish him later on.
In mid lane tries to punish that Baskin as well. Baskin gets chipped down to half health there, and him and Mask will return back to base. And going off what you were just talking about there, burning that relic around when the Gold Fury is available again. The next engagement for the Gold Fury, if djpernicus doesn't have either relic available, it's going to be very tricky for his play.
It wasn't even just the Aegis, too. It was the Purification beads as well, so that's a huge win in terms of what Baskin got out of the jungler for Eager there.
And Baskin now has Gem of Isolation online. We talked about the slows in the last engagement weren't available for him. They are now.
They really are now, and he's got 10% CDR as well, so that Kraken going to be up a little bit quicker than usual in previous seasons. Gold Fury started up already below half HP. DJ's coming around the back, and Baskin wants to fight him.
Divios forced him to reset, though. LG very aware of where Divios was. That leap in from him was fantastic. It did cost him his ultimate, though. Tell a lie, no, that was a Geb shield. My bad. I thought that was the ultimate.
Mini Nike.
It looks kind of similar sometimes. It depends on the state of the game.
The shield, it always looks the same on an HP bar.
Yeah. Okay, good job.
Always looks the same.
Speed buff on the left-hand side, though. Looked at by DJ, but with Mask and Baskin quickly rotating around there. That's a fast-looking Poseidon right now. He's doing a very good job with that passive, Baskin. It's not something we really notice, but you can now and again.
You definitely can. It definitely separates some average to pretty good Poseidons to the great ones and how you manage your passive.
Oracle's gonna go the way of Eager there, contested by LG, but it did go to the camp. As you can see, the red glow effect is a free ward down now for a few seconds, around a minute.
I mean, it's nice for Eager, but last gold tier that LG took, Eager had Oracle coverage. They didn't really care about it, so I doubt they will at this stage either.
And now left-hand side, you can see BaRRaCCuDDa going to get this purple buff over to JeffHindla, who's level 12 right now. Still not died in the game. It worked out well so far.
Interesting pickup here by Zapman, who's now hit level 17, tied with ScaryD for highest level in the game, but went for the Winged Blade right after his boots, really focusing on that slow out of both Nemesis for Mask and the Poseidon slow, right?
For me, this is a typical play that we saw against Nemesis players back when Nemesis was so prevalent. Everybody buys Winged Blade, you get more survivability. It makes it very difficult for the Nemesis to really go hard onto you because you're going to get that mobility to escape.
That's true, and I mean, you also have it against the Petrify from BaRRaCCuDDa, so that can be very, very useful whenever you may not get stunned, but that 50% slow is so important on that Petrify.
And not just Zapman who picks that up, though. It's also going to be the best in the mid lane. Yeah. Yes, this does hurt their damage output a little bit, but you're not doing damage if you're dead.
That's totally right, and Zap with those auto attacks in the late game, missing one item slot in terms terms of damage isn't going to hurt him that much. TheBest is still going to have that one-shot potential with DJ's combination or that of Aror. So I love this pickup by both of these players. I'm interested to see. Divios will probably snag one up as well. I imagine Aror will, and why not DJ? We could easily see 5 Winged Blades this game for Team Eager. But at some stage, yes, there are a lot of slows for Luminosity, but if your draft forces Eager to invest 5 item slots into 1 item, then that's pretty good. Yeah.
Second goal view of the game doesn't take very long against LG to do. Eager were there, but they weren't really there in time to stop the burst damage that came out. Only the Kraken was used there from Team Luminosity, but it was good enough to secure it.
Absolutely. That Gold Fury just melted to the hands of Luminosity. We've been casting the other too much. We shouldn't be saying the same word at the same time.
I know.
Like that.
I just want you to get fired, so I'd have to cast you again.
So you're putting me with you?
Yeah.
You're okay. That doesn't even. I'm not going to touch that.
Don't. 5-2 in the scoreline now. LG getting the second Gold Fury very, very quickly. Eager just kind of hanging back right now, Aggro. Is this still okay for them to do this?
Absolutely. I mean, Eager is so comfortable in this position. They're not worried about falling behind in the early game. 3,000, 3,500 gold, that's one team fight turnaround potential without a doubt, especially now that you're 21, 22 minutes in. All it takes is, a tier 1 tower and a tier 2 tower along with 4 or 5 kills, and you're right back even in the game.
Just keep an eye on ScaryD. He's top of the player damage for a reason right now. He has 3 kills to his name. He's not an assist machine this game, ScaryD. He's going to be the carry this time round. And with that build as well, full cooldown reduction with the Shield of Regrowth from Breastplate of Valor, that's a very fast Amaterasu that's going to run you down as well.
Yeah, good luck catching ScaryD if he's trying to run away from you. Portal Demon started up once more by LG, and they pull it right out of range for that raw snipe. They knew exactly when that was coming. They don't even have ward vision of where Best was standing, I don't think. They just knew exactly what was going to happen in that scenario. LG secure yet another objective.
And DJ was trying to flank around the back or find someone in the jungle to take. Instead, he gets himself pinched, which means he has to ult defensively. And now it's Zapman, the one who's in a bit of trouble. There's a Winged Blade that will come into play to get him away with the speed. And he's going to turn that around and Baskin, but Mask is there now.
There's the ultimate out of Nemesis and ScaryD trying to chase down the Hunter. He's 1 HP, trying to get around the tower. The jokes are great, and the Geb Shield's dead alive.
The speed of the permafrost keeps him up. Baskin also alive at the backside. Didn't get focused down quite enough. Characters from Aror, though, is good, and the Petrify's better. The tidal wave from Baskin deals great damage to Eager, and finally the first member falls.
DJ trying to get away, but he can't. BaRRaCCuDDa picks up number 2 in this team fight for Luminosity, who are now trying to siege down this tier 1 tower in duo lane.
Oh, they'll get the tier 1, that's for sure, but can they get anything else? I mean, they already won the Gold Fury fight. They won the Portal Demon fight as well, so why not just take that, limp back to the safety of your own half a map and farm your jungle?
Especially with how low all the members of Luminosity were, and you have to factor in that sustain factor for TheBest on this Raw. Going to make sure Zap and Divios are both healthy.
Now, we talked about the Winged Blades aggro, but this is how you have to play against the Winged Blades. It's exactly what LG are doing here. I think we're going to start to see Mask and Baskin maybe split apart a little bit more, just so they provide in their slow and effectiveness to multiple targets, and then switch afterwards.
Exactly. Baskin pops the Winged Blade on Zapman, then backs up immediately. Mask identifies his opportunity and immediately hits Zap with that Divine Judgment. Still not enough to kill him, but certainly enough to separate him from the fight. Zap was alive, yes, but way too low to fight into that, especially without any sort of lifesteal. Needed to get those heals from Best, and that's a heal over time. It's not a burst heal that he can immediately get back in the fight with.
Full credit to Eager disengaging the Hunter from a dangerous situation he was in. That wasn't really his fault for the most part. Yeah, he was a little bit pushed forward, but he got away to safety. His jukes were fantastic, but he also got a lot of peel to make that happen.
Fire Giant started up here by Luminosity. We saw how fast they did that Gold Fury, trying to do the same to the bigger objective. Divios is here and knows this is happening, but LG...
No stun. The ultimate comes up and the Fire Giant goes the way of LG. The fight may be a different story though. ScaryD goes straight to Zap to keep Zap busy. ScaryD on the front line now falling back, and it's Mask who's on the front side eating more than he can bargain for. The Petrify explodes DJ, but it's not enough. Mask is still alive. Cancel that. Calder says no.
Baskin picks up Aror though on the back end, and remember, LG have the Fire Giant. Zap, no relics, trying to get away. The Winged Blade saving his life for the moment. The speedy Amaterasu and Poseidon trying to chase him down, but they can't.
And only Divios left to deal with LG in the jungle, but with a quick leap, he'll be back to safety. DJ now back in the fray, just to zone Scary away from trying to stop his team from getting back to a comfortable position.
Man, Zap somehow getting out of another sticky situation in the jungle. Always seems to get away with 1 HP, but I doubt LG's too upset about it. They've got 4 members with Fire Giant right now.
all four members. And to be fair, Mask would have been great to have it on, but as long as he's on BaRRaCCuDDa, he will be able to get the damage down onto the towers a lot quicker, especially with a penetrative build that he's built into.
And this gives some sustain to Luminosity that they didn't have before up against the sustain from Eager. It's not as good as a raw heal, but you can absolutely underestimate how much healing you're getting, not only in your health bar, but your mana pool as well. This Fire Giant buff can really allow you to throw out spells willy-nilly, basically, knowing that you're going to have enough mana to continue the fight.
The scoreline for the two junglers here, both at level 17, doesn't really reflect both their performances in this game. I feel like Mask has made a much bigger impact than DJ so far, but they have both been involved in the majority of the kills. Mask probably should have got a couple of kills for himself, but he's had them taken away.
Yeah, the one in the mid lane on the best really comes to mind in terms of ones that Mask probably should have gotten credit for. But DJ, when you're playing up as this Ratatoskr without pressure, Gold Fury still goes the way of Luminosity, despite the snipe from Best was just a moment too late. When you're playing Ratatoskr without pressure, it's very, very difficult to make any sort of meaningful impact with your ultimate. We've seen DJ do his best in terms of dissuading aggression onto objectives and onto his other teammates with that through the Cosmos, but if you don't have pressure as Ratatoskr, it's difficult to really get those kills under your belt.
Now, even though there is a lead in the favor of Luminosity right now, it's not big enough to start closing the game out, and the Fire Giant hasn't really been utilized just yet by Luminosity since they picked it up. They've not gone for any tier 2 towers just yet. They're a little bit worried, I guess, about Eager's teamfight potential.
A little bit, yes. I mean, Aror doesn't have the blink engage, so you know that it's going to have to be around his character, whether he rolls out or just walks in between multiple members of Luminosity. And I agree with you. This Fire Giant isn't to close out the game, it's to extend this lead. These towers are free gold just waiting to be taken by Luminosity.
Well, at least the tier 1 in the mid lane. No one's going to try and defend the tier 1. The tier 2 may be a different story. The Permafrost going to bring Jeff in. Jeff's not too worried though. He was happy to tank that up anyway, but now that Caldeir's here, he may have overcommitted. The Petrified Force from BaRRaCCuDDa to help him out. Jeff's still alive, but he's going to fall down to Divios' Rend. Verizon gets a 4-man dunk, and now the crit damage!
Are you kidding me? BaRRa just erased him. Then the Kraken finds Divios, another dead. Only Best and Zap still alive. BaRRaCCuDDa just said, I'm going to get a crit with one crit item. It's only Deathbringer for BaRRaCCuDDa, but it's BaRRa. He's got plot armor. He's just going to nail that crit every time.
And now he's going to nail this Phoenix too. Skadi happy to tank this up for Baskin and BaRRaCCuDDa with the Fire Giant to deal the damage required to bring it down. Eager's base is in tatters right now after that engagement in mid lane. DJ got the best rat ultimate I've seen in such a long time.
4-man rat ult, and this is with the nerfed radius of that, with that rat ult as well. It's not like it used to be where you could really hit the entire team pretty easily. 4 members of Luminosity group up, a definite mistake from them, but sometimes you just got to get a little lucky when it comes to the crit. If DJ doesn't fall down that quickly, he died before he could even use a relic. If he's able to buy a little bit of time and maybe pick up Mask, who also got out with 1 HP, Scary D was very low, maybe that fight turns in Eager's favor, but the Deathbringer buy definitely paying off for BaRRaCCuDDa.
And the Paul Demon gets stolen away by LG at the end. I think it was the acid spray coming out from BaRRaCCuDDa that did pick that up all the in hand. And that just means, well, it's more pressure onto Eager trying to defend this tier 2.
Man, sometimes it's just one of those games it looks like right now for Eager. Nothing going their way.
But everything for LG.
Yeah, everything.
Working out perfectly for them, and that's what they need. If they want to make it into a top 2, they're not guaranteed it right now, not considering how the games have gone so far.
No, if Luminosity are able to find the 2-0 in this series, they walk away with the first seed in North America. On the other hand, if they don't find a point, they're in a tiebreaker situation up against United. Eager, they're safe. They're coming to the Masters land here in Atlanta. It's just a matter of who is definitely going to join them and who's going to be going to the Gauntlet land.
Who's going to be in the what seed position overall. Fire Giant is due to spawn again in 10 seconds time. The dance is about to begin. Luminosity with the power on the front line here. I will say Jeff's flops this game haven't been perfect, but they're forced to fight well enough because they've all focused him.
It's just an intentional feed. He's just baiting himself. Yeah, that's a bait.
But he's not really fed because he's the shell that meditates the peel from his team. Every time he gets picked is the moment they all turn it off.
That's called the advanced tactical feed, where you actually tactical feed just by missing stuff, but not actually dying.
Genius. Jeff is so advanced right now.
Isn't he?
But he is up against Aurora, and Aurora's going to shield himself. However, he's trapped inside that whirlpool. It's going to do a lot of damage. Great Cataclysm coming out and a snipe too, but it's not enough damage from the best to pick up a kill. Aurora, on the other hand, is going to get cleaned up by Skadi. DJ in the sky.
Lurking, finds 2 with the knockup, but no real follow-up. The snipe was already used off the Cataclysm combination from Aror. 3 members, pretty low here for Luminosity, and they're not the ones with the Raw on their side, so LG, they get the pick, but not a whole lot out afterwards.
Yeah, it seems LG is just going to return back to base with their health bars here. They've only got Kraken available. Baskin and Skadi will stay around just because 3 members have recalled. You can't leave the Fire Giant completely exposed against a Skadi who could just whittle it down very quick.
Especially with Divios there to tank it up, and Best, who is going to have that snipe available pretty soon. So smart call there by Baskin and Skadi to stick around.
Baskin on the front line just going to create a whirlpool to zone away for a second or 2. Skadi and Baskin going to start the Fire Giant though. Divios once again first on the scene to find out what's going on. This is going down quick.
There, they do have the Kraken though, does Baskin and Divios. He doesn't have that Sentinel of Zeus. The Permafrost making big work there, making life difficult for Baskin. And Skadi, he's trying to make life difficult for the 3-man stun.
Very deep on the backside though. Fire Giant stolen by djpernicus. He dips in when BaRRa was looking to solo on his own by the looks of it. But cheeky little Ratatoskr comes out and now escapes to the left-hand side. If he keeps on running right now, he may be able to get away. But this is bringing Eager back in the game.
Baskin had the Kraken and didn't use it to secure the Fire Giant, and it comes back to haunt Luminosity. DJ gets the Fire Giant away. All 5 members are just watching as DJ goes in there, steals it, and scurries away off to the left-hand side, where Eager then pick up the Gold Fury.
Yep.
This game where it looked like Luminosity was going to punch their ticket. I don't know anymore.
At the highest level of play with pro play, the highest level is all about who makes mistakes and who gets punished for those mistakes. Luminosity did make a mistake then. Let's be honest. Skadi chased too much. They went deep looking for that pick on Aror, and that opened a window where the team was still doing Fire Giant.
I'm on the other hand. That was a mistake for Luminosity, and Skadi did a good job of zoning. He takes 3 members out, and the best steal potential for Eager is the snipe out of Best, and he's forced to use it defensively there. But then you've got 4 people standing around that Fire Giant. Someone has to get DJ away from that or
the key is
secure it.
They didn't have 4 though, because they were so far forward protecting Skadi for a disengage if they needed him, that they weren't focused on that Fire Giant. So they bit off too much more than they could chew there.
In one sense, yes, but Skadi's a level 20 full health Amaterasu. He doesn't need a whole lot of help at disengaging in that scenario.
But they were helping him. I'm just saying. They were there.
I agree with you that they made a mistake. It's just semantics about where the mistake actually was.
Well, it has bought Eager enough time for the middle Phoenix to come back up. The tier 2 town on the left and the right still standing for Eager too. So it's not all doom and gloom now with this Fire Giant. With the amount of time they've got left on this Fire Giant, on all 5 members as well to add to that, they can get some of these towers themselves.
It's time for Jeff needs to find a big flop this time around. The last few flops have been aiming at Aror. The game plan has been Nemesis ultimate into the Sunder and blow up the Geb, and it's worked, but so often the Aurora is able to get the Cataclysm off, which guarantees the snipe onto at least 1 member.
And the problem now,
and they've got no sustain to really worry about healing up after that.
The problem now is Gebby's starting to get more and more tanky, and this is what happens as the game goes on. You pick the Guardians early if you can, but when it gets to late game, if you focus them too much, it could spell your demise.
Divios already gets that Geb shield though, so not going to have that in case of an engagement here by Luminosity. Skadi is a little bit poked, but...
Yeah, I was going to say, they're starting to chunk now. You just saw how much Skadi got invested into him there. He took a lot of free damage.
Ratatoskr ready to go for Best. Even with that Wingblade, you know he's going to be swinging. We're at 5 Wingblades right now for Eager. Only Divios hasn't bought one yet.
Jeff on the front side, forced to flop defensively there. Opens another window for Eager to start sieging down the tier 2. No minions with them, but they do have enough sustain and tanky targets just to keep this going. And at the same time, DJ on the left-hand side is looking for the split option.
1,500 gold the way of Eager. They're all going to group on his left-hand side. They thought they were going to help DJ siege this down, but maybe just leave it to the jungler. But with Luminosity responding, it's going to be Eager instead choosing to go for this Fire Demon Portal. And I like this decision because this gives them an option to go back, spend the gold they just got with that tier 2 tower in middle, and then go and siege down this right-hand tier 2 tower with that gold.
We'll see if they can do that in the window they've got left. At the moment, Eager are just going to clean up some buffs in their own half of the map as well. Middle Phoenix has regen to the best of its ability, and it will stay at that amount for the rest of the game now as well until LG look to bring it down again. But it shows you the game of Smite here between these 2 teams. The 2 best teams in North America right now are on your screen. And if you make a small mistake, like over fighting at the same time as doing a Fire Giant, it can come back, and one play from a man like djpernicus can turn the game.
DJ's 0-4-4 right now, and no one on his team cares about that 0 kills at all.
I guarantee you, if this was a ranked game, though, everyone is saying this rat's awful.
Oh, duh. I mean, yeah, it's ranked. That's what usually happens. But DJ absolutely turns this game around in Eager's favor by playing the objective-oriented game. And how fitting is that for djpernicus, the guy who's known for his split pushing and how much he likes to move teams around the map, not as worried about kills as most other players, specifically junglers are. DJ making it happen for Eager right now.
We're going to see full builds here, aggro, as this game goes on. We see more rituals coming in. You see the frenzy on the side of JeffHindla right now. But we're starting to approach 6-item time. And with 6-item time comes rituals, but also comes longer respawns. So these engagements are more and more important because you'll be dead a longer period of time to defend against the onslaught of the opposition.
Not only the rituals, but a couple relic upgrades as well. You see that Divios has upgraded his thorns, so he's going to be returning even more damage to the opposition, and the Aegis upgrade for both djpernicus and Zapman to make sure that you're going to be able to get that, have that defensive option available a little bit more often. And I love that pickup specifically up against the composition for Luminosity. We're really relying on the big bursts of damage after the Nemesis ult.
Well, Fire Giants are 1-for-1 now. The third one of the game is about to spawn at 35 minutes, and it has done so. LG going to start it up straight away. The crits come into play from BaRRa early on. This is going down very quickly. The defense from Eager is here, though, trying to pull them off, and they will do so.
ScaryD in the backline once more. Frenzy popping a huge snipe out of Best.
But Aror is so low. DJ goes to the back, looking at BaRRaCCuDDa and Baskin drawing their attention, and Mask as well. This leaves ScaryD exposed in the front, left alone. He's going to run for his life, and Zapman's going to give chase, as is Caldir.
Caldir trying to chase down the Amaterasu, but that movement speed aura just a little bit too much. Best taking a lot of damage there from Baskin, but that snipe from Best, it just turns that team fight around instantly. 0 kills from it, but just knocking everyone down below half HP.
Nobody died in that engagement. I was going to say, this has been 16 kills in this game in just under 36 minutes. That seems low, but the amount of action is great. These players are playing so well.
Absolutely. The relic usage has been on point. DJ immediately landing into the Kraken, but ready to go with that Aegis right away. No damage taken there. But I like that use of Kraken from Baskin to make sure that BaRRaCCuDDa stays alive. At this later stage of the game, BaRRaCCuDDa is going to do more damage in 3 to 4 seconds than that Kraken is going to do instantly. So I have no problem with him using it as a defensive peel option for the late game hunter.
Now, one thing we don't talk about too much is momentum in a game. And we just saw that was the very first fight Eager took against Luminosity. They didn't lose. They didn't lose that fight. All the previous fights, they have lost those fights against Luminosity, and that's where they found these objective wins. That Fire Giant steal from DJ has swung the momentum back towards Eager to make this an even game now.
Yeah, that Fire Giant was so low, Luminosity could have potentially committed to it and tried to use the Kraken to secure it, and maybe if they don't lose that last Fire Giant, that's the call. But once you lose one objective, it gets in your head about being a little bit gun-shy when it comes to pulling objectives with other enemies around.
Would be nice to see somebody from LG go to the left-hand side, but they can't right now, because the only one that could get back very quickly enough is going to be ScaryD, but his teleport's on cooldown for another 130 seconds. So this dance on the right-hand side can play into Eager's favor if we do see DJ head back over there, and shockingly enough, he's on that side of the map.
Rituals do favor Eager right now. They've got a frenzy and a flickering, but the Fire Giant falls too fast for Eager to respond. Divios jumps in,
but he gets a slow
but the objective's gone.
The shield is used. The Kraken is bigger. Divios still stands, however, but ScaryD will bring him down. Best takes out JeffHindla, and Baskin versus DJ forces DJ to blink defensively away. Still giving chases Baskin with the help of that Fatalis and the Gem of Isolation too. ScaryD's done great work on the front line, but Zapman still wants this kill. Still trying to give chase, but Baskin round the back. Versus 2.
Aegis not enough to buy Zap time. Here comes the rallying ritual onto Aror. DJ pops out, ready to fight, but immediately eats a couple crits from BaRRaCCuDDa and is forced to run away.
The rallying ritual's really coming up big, and this is what happens when you get around 37 to 40 minutes. It's all about the rallying rituals, the frenzies, and the flickerings coming in. The new edition of the season. We've not really seen games go this long or at this high of a skill level to see how much of an impact they really make.
No, the average game time down from Season 3, surprisingly enough, with how aggressive the early game was in Season 3. Season 4 is still a little bit quicker than it was, and we haven't seen a whole lot of teams with full builds and rituals. We'll see a lot of teams actually forego their 6 items to continue to buy rituals. Not the case this time around. It's only been JeffHindla who's bought 2 frenzy rituals, spending 1,500 gold, delayed his 6th item.
We can see 2 flickerings online now for Luminosity and 1 frenzy for ScaryD. With BaRRaCCuDDa going back to base, I'm expecting another flickering. He has got a Malice online to during that Deathbringer now, So gone for a crit-orientated build with the Assi and Executioner in tow.
I like it because DJ has been diving him significantly on the backside, and what does Ratatoskr do better than just about anyone?
Get one shot.
Escape with 1 HP, or get one shot.
Get
and
one
Malice
shot.
helps with both of those options.
Perfect situation then for LG to be in, at least in terms of the defense against djpernicus, but they've got to make sure they do something with this Fire Giant. They're still on 3 members now. And the question is, can they really do anything with the Fire Giant on 3 members?
It's difficult, but this middle Phoenix is weakened, and these tier 2 towers, while they might not matter nearly as much in terms of gold as they usually do, it matters in terms of how tanky this Titan is. If Luminosity is able to find a team fight win with 2 towers and 2 Phoenixes still standing, it would be difficult for them to burst down that Titan quickly.
Eager right there. Doesn't have any rituals online unless DJ just picked one up, which he did. A Frenzy is online for him as well, 2 for the side of LG. Keep an eye on them being popped. They only last for 5 seconds, so it will be the call to go the moment it happens, and there's the go.
There's the first one for BaRRaCCuDDa, responded with by Eager, but neither team really engages off of these Frenzy rituals, but this favors Luminosity.
Jeff in a bit of trouble here, being pinned in place by Skadi, and the fact Skadi was up there, and this guy's DJ just hovering and waiting, and then he's engaging.
But the meditation saves Jeff's life. He's able to get away. A quick reaction there from Scary D saves the life of JeffHindla.
And JeffHindla can go back to base, potentially get a rallying ritual if he wants to come back to the fight, if he's got the gold in his pocket.
I don't know. He just finished Mantle of Discord. He doesn't have enough. No, it just gets a Sentry and a couple multi-potions to make sure he's healthy. Yeah, just not enough gold for the support player. Story of their lives, right?
Story of their lives all the time, but now Eager can hold here. Jeff forced back to base means there's a window now with this Fire Giant buff to start to wear off.
I love that second Frenzied Ritual pop by Luminosity. It wasn't to engage with, it was to say to Eager, don't fight us right now. They were on the back foot, they were retreating, like, hey, we do damage, but don't fight us still, please.
Minion wave coming in, Fire Giant still on for a few more seconds time. The minion wave, however, won't last very long under the tower. Scary D forced to tank up. He's going to ult Zapman on the back line. Zapman left on his own on the right-hand side, but not fully invested into because the rest of LG look to Aror, and Aror is removed thanks to the Kraken and Mask combination.
And the middle Phoenix falls. Best almost just one-shot Baskin there with that one ult combination, just barely able to escape. Is that Poseidon? Middle Phoenix falls. Tier 2 on the left-hand side should as well.
And now the trail end of the Fire Giant will allow them to get that tier 2 tower before they have to fall back to safety. Or do they? They're still marching on for a second here.
Rallying?
No minions on this side. This is a little bit risky.
Rallying Ritual is used by Baskin. Sure. This is risky, yeah, but
Auror's
down for 28 seconds.
Okay, good call, good call. Yeah, the length of time and the down member is 4v5. He's making DJ stay over here as well.
But it's only Intoxicate ready to go for Luminosity, and DJ's looping around the back.
DJ round the back, gonna look for a stun if he can find it. Orbally ult to the sky. Scary takes a lot of free pokes. Zapman and Best are doing a lot of chunk damage right about now. Look at Zap's damage, 32,900 so far. Way, way above BaRRaCCuDDa.
And this is a big win for Eager because they just made Baskin spend 750 gold. And yes, he's full build and he's not really worried about it, but that's another flickering that he can't get. That's maybe he can't buy a Frenzy here for this Fire Giant engagement. And this is also a big pickup for Eager. This Portal Demon, if the very, very first engagement goes wrong, then maybe Eager has enough time to come back through that portal.
And this is the benefit of having a player like DJ who likes to hide in the jungle and rotate around in unusual positions, because you recognize windows of opportunity like that to take the Portal Demon when LG weren't aware of it.
Yeah, Fire Giant get a respawn right now. But Eager, in order to get real use out of that Fire Giant, probably would have needed to be posturing up towards the enemy jungle to make sure that they can't get, that Luminosity can't walk in. By this time, if Luminosity has control over this pit, then Eager can't really come in because they would just get blown up.
I don't think Eager's in a position to defend this Fire Giant right now. Best is here with the snipes available.
Look at DJ and Zap.
Divios on the front line trying to get in range to try and steal this one away. They got it again! Fire Giant goes the way of Eager, but 2 crits in a row! Divios disappeared! Baskin's gonna crack in 3!
The roar is so low. DJ trying to come down, but 2 are already dead on the side of Eager. They have the Fire Giant, though.
They stole Fire Giant again, but BaRRaCCuDDa made a meal out of Divios there. 2 crits, one of them was 1,600, that's a tank!
Yeah, and the only other one was 1,200, so it's not even that big of a deal in comparison.
Just calling Divios out there. If he would have thorns, BaRRa would have been dead.
He would have actually killed himself.
Yes, he would have killed himself in 2 shots.
That would have been amazing.
It would have been very funny overall. But the Fire Giant going to Eager gives him another window to breathe. Yes, 2 members are dead. Yes, 5 members of LG are alive, but it's going to be tricky.
But they, again, have that Fire Giant. Best has that snipe ready to go. Again, full build on this Raw. saw. We saw how much damage he did to Baskin last time. Does have that one-shot potential if Luminosity try and just end the game. There's the combo.
Not enough to kill BaRRaCCuDDa though. DJ goes in, gonna buy time of the ages to get some more damage off. Zapman takes out one. DJ forced to mask though, but the best can keep them busy. Zapman combo blinks over the wall, back to safety. The hot flickering to draw LG away.
And BaRRaCCuDDa's back, ready to go. He almost died, but didn't get out of the fight.
Best has hit some amazing one ult
combos
over and over again.
Not only that, but that was the combination that stole the Fire Giant away from Luminosity last time around. Best didn't have the best of early games, you could say, but his late game has certainly been killing it.
Well, this Gold Fury is not massively important, but it's an additional 200 to 300 gold in your coffers, which means you're a little bit closer to another Frenzy or Flickering Ritual. The game is going to be now.
Or rallying.
With how the game's going to be now, is the question is, which team runs out of gold first?
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
That's kind of what it is, right?
And when you're spending 1,500 gold every back on 2 relics.
Yes, leave gold in hand up because that's where it's important now. 750 for any relic other than Flickering, which is 1,000.
Yes.
So every time you look at these, you can see now, Best can afford a Flickering.
We don't even need player damage right now, right?
It's not important. With how the state of the game is, people are blowing up all the time. Gold in hand's more important.
Mask has actually picked up a revealing ritual, trying to make sure he knows exactly where everyone is. Yeah, DJ in particular. Yes, good point.
Because if DJ can flank around the back again and cause issues like he has been doing, it's keeping Eager in this game. I won't say Eager on the forefront in this game at all with how these fights have generally been going, and BaRRaCCuDDa has been exploding people on the front side. But Zapman's surviving still in this game. I just want you to note that it's 45 minutes in a game against LG, and LG are up big right now in terms of golden experience when you look at it, but Zapman still hasn't died.
No, he's been phenomenal on this Skadi. That last fight just comes around and one-shots Baskin before he even has a chance to respond. And in no crit build, we're not seeing the big 1,600 numbers that BaRRaCCuDDa's throwing out onto Divios. It's about consistent damage. Zapman has been laying down the permafrost, and every fight has started with at least one member of Luminosity being about, 3/4 HP instead of full HP.
Do need to speak to JeffHindla though about these multi-potions at 45 minutes in, Jeff. Because I'm not being funny, but those health potions as well, they're not going to keep you alive when the frenzy's popped. I'm just saying.
They might. I mean, we've seen how many people... No, I mean, I'm serious. If you pop a health pop before you engage, what else are you going to spend that gold on? Yes, you got your frenzy rituals. But if you're sitting at 50 gold short, you just wait for the ritual. It's not that big of a deal, and you can absolutely get away with 1 HP. That's a decent amount of health that ticks through.
Now, this is the part of the game that not really been in before as well. I grew up thinking about it, but no one's really buying wards anymore. There's very little wards in these inventories, and you can see the map normally would be a Christmas tree back in Season 3 and 2. This time around, not so much. No. Just a couple of wards scattered around.
Who needs wards when you can blink? Who needs wards when you can make everyone do that much more damage?
When you can get health potions.
That's right.
Okay, we'll see how this works out. Middle Phoenix has respawned. Full minion wave now coming in. Skadi on the forefront, trying to bait out that permafrost from Zap and succeeding in it. Gives a few more seconds now for Zap to have that available, but LG can't really commit without having some minions in tow.
Scary D has had a good job of engaging and getting out. My man is 8-0-7 right now, but he doesn't have that Wingblade passive for another 10 seconds. May want to wait until that passive's ready to go.
That's another good point. I was looking at Zapman not dying. Well, Scary D's been on the forefront, and he's been murdering people so far this game as well. The golden hand slowly starting to tick up again. Mask could buy 2 flickering rituals if he wanted to. There's a frenzy, double frenzy. Aurora to the back with a blink though this time.
Where did he go?
But he already disappeared. Jeff gets credit for the kill. Scary D tanked up Zapman as long as he could. Zapman still has his ultimate available. The Phoenix in mid though has been engaged, and it will fall down.
But the 3 of the 4 members that are still alive for Eager have their ultimates. Best tried to one-shot someone and missed the ult. That's a big ult down now.
And now with the Phoenix in the right spawning, without that ultimate available, it's up to DJ and Zapman to disengage this if they can. They have to surrender the right-hand Phoenix. Luminosity will be feeling confident, and Mass just spotted DJ in the sky.
Looking to knock someone up and maybe wombo combo someone.
He can't do this.
No, DJ knows that he can't get in there. This is just a leave our left Phoenix alone ultimate.
Leave us alone. We don't want it anymore. The Fire Giant, however, that doesn't really want LG go in there, but it's going to happen right now. The Pole Demon available for them to use straight after to teleport back if they so choose to take this. And Aurora will be available for the final stand, potentially from Eager. LG are looking okay right now, but we've said that before.
I mean, Aurora's tankiness is not a factor at this stage in the game. You've got Nemesis ultimate, you've got an upgraded Sunder. Aurora, we couldn't even follow him with the camera before he died off his blink. That's how quickly he got erased. If Auror's going to be that engagement tool for Team Eager, Best has to follow up 100% right away. Not saying that that's the best option, because I don't think it is necessarily, but if Auror's just throwing his life away in that scenario, because that's what it is. He's literally diving in there and trying to kill himself for another better return kill, and Best has to be there and ready to go in that sort of scenario.
And I'm pretty sure that engagement from Aror did get the beads out of Baskin here, but they should be available by the next engagement too. And that was the difference. It was Blink, Cataclysm, beads, Kraken. That's all that happened, and Aror was gone.
And that's what I mean. That's why Best usually isn't going to follow up on a Blink Cataclysm, because the beads are going to be so quick. But you know Auror is not surviving in that scenario. You know that and you have enough time to potentially try and lock Baskin down if it's for that split second.
Well, minions in mid lane starting to pour in. DJ there on defense. The right-hand side's about to join in that party for Luminosity's favor right now, which means the whole team of LG can group up on the left.
I think Aror sold his boots to buy a ritual, and boots won. He sold his boots because he needs a ritual that badly to compete in this late game.
He needs the engagement. That's what it seems. He's going for the flickering ritual to potentially engage. Maybe he'll hang back this time round. Divios could be in the initiator, but Divios is blown up as well.
10 seconds until Baskin has those beads available. Maybe Aror recognizes that, but with how difficult it is to keep track of timers with his upgrades.
Zapman shows himself at the Titan defending against minions, so immediately LG go in. A lot of damage onto Mass there, but the shield comes into play as well. Divios is one hit from death. He's out of the fight. DJ in the sky, though, looking to pick up some Revenants.
The med is good. Scary not going to get knocked up. The snipe not there. A huge Petrify out of BaRRa. Hits 3. Auror able to blink out of the whirlpool, but all of Eager able to retreat.
But the main thing is the Phoenix still stands. The Titan is still being whacked on by the fire minions on the right-hand side. Zapman forced to go back and defend that. One member of Luminosity goes back to base for a second, but the teleport comes into play.
And he's got another Frenzy and another flickering Phoenix erased on the left-hand side. Scary back in that front line. Auror trying to make it happen. Baskin able to combat Blink out.
But now on the forefront, it's Eager in a bit of a turmoil. They have to fall back to the fountain. DJ's very low, but luckily enough, Calder's chasing Scary D to keep him busy for the time being. The Titan still stands.
Man, this is such a tough spot for Luminosity. When do you go in? You have to go in with a minion wave, though.
Eager are defending so well against this. They've lost the Phoenix. It took them a long time, but now with minions from everywhere, this is really rough.
Best has Snipe, and Baskin has no relics whatsoever. You know that DJ or Aror is looking to find some CC onto Baskin and allow Best to turn this around.
Well, they have a Frenzy as well. If they just all in the Titan, they could end this.
Maybe.
I think if they all in the Titan and don't even pay attention to Eager.
It's so difficult, though, because you can't group. If you group, you die, and then you lose the game.
Yeah,
and then you lose the game. Your spacing has to be perfect.
So do you split the comp here, and you go 2 mid, 2 left, 1 right, or something like that? Is that what you have to do?
But then your Frenzy might not hit everyone on the composition. There's so many different factors. I don't mind this decision to just wait until these Phoenixes are up. Divios uses his ultimate to try and get everyone off.
And DJ's
Phoenix already dead.
DJ's good. Second tree, third tree. No, second tree, and down onto Baskin. Immediately Mask ults on to DJ to disengage him. Baskin will survive, so will DJ for now. Phoenix in the right, different story. The Fire Minions take that one down, and now Fire Minions are in every lane.
DJ's coming around the back. They're looking for the Titan, though. Luminosity just gonna all in it with the Frenzy, and they will secure their spot at the Smite Masters LAN.
And that's what they need to do there, LG, as well. They had to wait for Eager to try and defend to the best of their ability, and then turn it on his head.
I mean, like you mentioned, at some point you could just pop the Frenzy. They were just waiting for the Kraken and Petrify to be up. Once that was ready to go, Eager didn't really have much recourse up against that just sheer amount of burst damage. You can't body block a Kraken.
Well, this puts LG onto 13 points after game 1.
Yeah.
Game 2 now is seeding between Eager and LG. LG win this, they go top. Eager win this, they go top.
Exactly.
They stay top.
Both teams are going to the Smite Masters LAN, guaranteed.
Correct.
Neither have to go through the gauntlet, and that is a big sigh of relief, I'm sure, for Luminosity, who were in danger of going to have to fight into the Smite Masters LAN. Not that that wasn't a fight, because that was a 50-minute brawl, but either way, they now have a chance to secure that first seed and really try and avoid a team like Obey that's been playing phenomenally over on the side of Europe.
Well, game